G'day, Dave Geary.
Hi everyone, Daniel Hastings here, and welcome to the December Christmas edition 2020 for the MMJ Wollongong blog.
Excellent.
And an interesting year, David, and probably a few points that come to mind for you in relation to real estate in 2020.
Oh, well, so the interesting thing is we've had floods this year.
Yeah, just a bit going on.
Fire. And we've had COVID-19, so it's been a very interesting 2020. Now, in the real estate market, but we weren't sure how things were going to be affected. And what do you think? Where did the market go just recently? So,
I think recently, I think going back to when the pandemic and lockdown started to take hold, I suppose, there was obviously a bit of fear and trepidation in relation to how the property market would fare. I recall predictions from certain Big Four banks and their economists saying as low as 30% drops, which at the time I was hopeful wouldn't be the case, and thankfully we have not seen anything along those lines
actually,
at all.
he was 40% out because they reckon the stats somewhere getting closer to 10% increase.
To 10% increase is exactly right. So yeah, I wonder if how his predictions will go in future property forecasts as well. But no, I think a very interesting time, and I think to come out of it after. What did we have? What did you say? We had fires, pandemics, flooding, all this sort of thing going on a national scale. And the Illawarra, I think, can feel pretty comfortable that we've held our own very well.
Oh, very well. And that's funny, looking at the stats this year, what's happened, and in relation to numbers that were coming out of the area, the last sale that happened, which actually you were the auctioneer for just recently, was a bit of land just out of the city of Wollongong.
Yep.
Do you want to give them a quick brief on that, and then we'll go on about the other units and housings in the area as well?
Yeah, I was the auctioneer, but it was run by our commercial team, primarily being Travis Mackin and Jeff Jones looking after that one. But we had extraordinary auction only days ago at the time of filming for a land subdivision in Kembla Grange in Darks Road.
Yep.
28 hectares, estimated 140 plus lots that could perhaps be redeveloped there. And we got quite an astounding $19.6 million under the hammer. We believe, we can't confirm it exactly, but we're quietly confident that it's the biggest auction sale that's happened in the Illawarra in history. So that's been a nice little kudos for our company.
And an MMJ sale as well.
An MMJ sale. So from that perspective, with all that trepidation we speak about, and then we've got sort of highlights that have recently happened in that regard.
And you're funny you say that just before we get into COVID, but it was between the fires and the flood. MMJ held the dearest or the best sale of a residential house. It's about 8 k's out of the city.
Yep.
Just under $4 million.
And that was your one?
And my sale, and that was just under $4 million. So there's two good things through MMJ. Look, we haven't held the highest in the actual apartments, I'm sorry, but the two ones that would come to mind anyway this year, there was one in Woonona. It was in a duplex situation that sold over $3 million.
Yep.
But then it came through as a unit sale.
Yes.
I wasn't sure because it wasn't a duplex how they configured that.
Yep.
So if you take that out of the equation, you go back into Wollongong, 2.35 was the apartment sale was the dearest.
Yep.
Now there was that many over 2 million was phenomenal as well.
Yep.
I couldn't give you all the numbers there. And the majority of the upmarket units in Wollongong, there are all $1 million to 1.5 is an average cost. So there's some great sales in Wollongong, and that kind of shines what Wollongong's like, being an area where you come down here and actually have a lifestyle change.
Absolutely. And I think as a region throughout this pandemic, you talk about the lifestyle changes and so forth, and obviously some new habits have been formed with working environments and so forth, people perhaps working from home a lot more, and people seeing that they can do that in the long term a lot better too. Certainly seeing a lot of people look at their options, be that they have roots in Wollongong or just looking for a complete change. And I think the Illawarra has fared really well from that point of view, when people realise they only have to go to Sydney perhaps for their work once to twice a week and can often work from home, etc. And I think that's really put the Illawarra in a very good frame there.
It is. Now, just say quickly, Wollongong's changing. We know there's very little residential homes left in the city. At the moment, we're looking after numerous, last blogs we talked about the Signature building and the loft apartments that we've been selling stuff down in Bank Street. Quite right now, we are just releasing Young Street over here, which is a motel with over 50 units in there anyway, with some upmarket 1 unit per floor in there as well. That's actually being released as we speak today. We've got other stuff coming over in North Wollongong Wollongong. Another 14 there, upmarket 3-bedroom apartments going in there.
Yeah.
We've got a block starting early in the year as well in down in Kira Street,
Yes.
looking over McCabe Park, which is a very unique product as well. So
Yep.
got plenty of great stock if you're out there looking for it as well.
Yes.
And just quickly to finish off, how did your open houses been going lately?
Look, I think that's a really good sign of what's going on. There's still a lack of stock in the market at present. Houses and to a lesser extent units, seeing big numbers. I know last week we had a house in Berkeley getting 32 groups through. A villa last weekend as well that went to market getting over 30 groups as well. So when you're seeing 30 plus groups happen on a regular basis, and even bigger numbers for some houses that have gone as open houses.
Oh, the city house is getting excellent numbers as
In
well.
and around the city.
We just sold that thing in
surrounding
Shepherd
suburbs.
Street. We had great numbers through that in West Wollongong. So
Yeah, another auction that happened last week.
funny thing is, talk about auctions, and a lot of people are a bit hesitant about that we are very selective on what we auction. But you only mentioned to me recently we're at 100% this year, haven't we?
I believe we have
100% success.
Yeah. So that's, I think auctions are a really good test of what the market's about.
But
when
it's
they're
also-
selling,
but-
that's a good sign.
But you've also got to be very selective on what you auction as well.
We are more so. True.
Mate, I think that's a wrap. I think Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
All of that, and we certainly appreciate your support and for you guys tuning in as well. And we look forward to assisting you guys in what is hopefully a less eventful 2021.
See you then.
Alrighty, bye.